I feel pretty good throughout the day, and other days I'll just move wrong or do things that catch it. But I don't have any time for estimated return. Some doctor appointments this week, get some more x-rays, see how it's healing, and kind of can go from there. But yeah, it's I'm obviously mobile, super fortunate that the injury wasn't worse than it was. Obviously, a lot of people have had that, flat landing in a sprint car and have been hurt much worse than I was. So just heal up and come back when I can.
Is the All-Star race on the table still, or?
I don't know. It's hard to answer that without seeing what the X-ray says this week. Really, like, with how I'm not a doctor, so I don't have a clue what I'm talking about, right? But I haven't had an X-ray since the injury, so like until we do that and see how it's healing, I just don't know.
So what you look at how you're feeling in a lot of pain or not, and then are you watching the races? Are you doing things to push yourself to see how your body is ready?
Yeah, so I would say the most painful thing for me is laughing, coughing, sneezing, or trying to sleep. Like laying down hurts pretty bad. Standing up, walking around is not so bad. I've been able to walk the whole time, so that's been nice. I've kind of kept myself busy. This week I was able to get back in the gym a little bit, which was really good, because not working out for a couple weeks is like the worst thing in the world for me. So they have like they're like air bands that kind of pump up around your muscles so you can work out with really light weight and still get a good workout from it. So I was doing curls with 5-pounders. Typically I do 10s, so 5s was a good workout for me.
And what's the mental side for you? How are you dealing with it mentally, being out of your race car?
It sucks. It sucks really bad, but it's pretty self-inflicted. So, it was my choice to go sprint car racing, and I knew what I was signing up for. And yeah, it really sucks being outside of the race car, but everybody at Hendrick Motorsports has been super supportive, and as well as everybody at Ally. I got to spend some time with the people from Ally this week, so definitely sucks to not be in the car though.
Will you be continuing to do the sprint car stuff once you get healthy?
I don't know, that's a tough decision for me. Like, at some point, yes. I just don't know when that point will be. Obviously, sitting out of the car again when I was really recently out of the car last year isn't good for me. Regardless, like, it's not the money or anything. It's like I want to win cup races, and I don't like sitting out. So at some point, yeah, I will get back in a sprint car and a midget for sure. I just don't know when that point will be.
Have you been in a simulator or done anything like that at this point? You can't sit down in that position that long.
I probably could be in a sim fine. I would say that pulling my belt tight would probably hurt. Like honestly, the biggest thing that, like, if I had to drive a race car today, every time they drop the jack, like, that's what would hurt, right? So, sitting, I can do. It's, the impact stuff, like, driving down the road, you hit a bump and it sucks. Like, coughing or sneezing, kind of that jarring is what hurts for me.
Does flipping...
So if you see if the scan comes back and the doctor says, we think you can race, are you for sure going to race? Or is there any sort of pain tolerance or anything else that would determine whether you race or not?
I don't know. I guess I don't know until I talk to the doctor. But if the doctor is like, yeah, you're healthy enough to race, I think for me, I just got to go get in the car, probably do some pit stops, maybe drive around the parking lot and go from there.
So you make it with the doctor?
I think my appointments are Wednesday this week, so yeah, we'll see from there, but yeah, hopefully it's good news.
Have you talked with Eric Almirola any about his process and what he went through?
I really haven't. I feel like anybody that I've talked to that has broke their back, it's like it's all been way more serious than me. So for me, it's like I fractured T3. It's really high. Haven't been in a brace because it's so high that they could brace my neck, but then I'd probably be in more pain from the neck brace than anything. I don't have any spinal cord injuries. Like, I'm in pain, but it's like I can still do everything. So just super fortunate. I haven't talked to Eric, but I watched like his Race Hub interview, and it sounded like he was in quite a bit worse shape than me as far as pain-wise. So just fortunate that I'm not that bad off.
Obviously your health is the most important thing, but how much not being in the races, watching the opportunity to win races, to watch opportunity for playoff points going away, and what that might do for you, come playoff time, because everybody talks about how every point is so important, and missing out on so many races.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the races I missed the first 2 weeks. I mean, statistically, Dover and Kansas are the best places for me by a mile. So it's a huge bummer. Like, just mentally to sit there and watch. I mean, how good the 48 still ran at Dover, but like just knowing that I feel like I'm really good there. Like, that's my best racetrack, and how good we could have been. And then kind of same at Kansas. Like, I love that racetrack as well. So yeah, missed out on a lot of points, but that's on me. I decided to go sprint car racing, and I'm a big boy. It's on me. There's nobody to blame. Just gotta get healthy and make up for it when I can come back.
Obviously, you talk about getting the doctor and seeing what the scan is this week. Depending on how that goes, or whenever you're able to be cleared, is it you're looking at testing at some point? Because obviously there can be a medical test for a team potentially to get back in the car and to see how your back is, or is that even an option?
I would love to test. We haven't talked about that. I don't know if that's an option or not. I would love to at some point. It would obviously be nice, but we just have to wait and see. I didn't get a medical test before Phoenix, so hard to say what'll happen.
When you flipped in the car, drivers sometimes when they flip, albeit a sprint car, does that make you change your mindset? Does that stick with your mind as it would if you were in a cup car, or do you blow that one off as if it didn't happen? It doesn't affect you at all, or does it?
I don't think it really affects me. It was kind of interesting. The whole time I was flipping, I'm like, man, these things don't hurt at all to crash. Like, the wing takes all the blows. And then when it landed, like, I don't know if you've ever been to a chiropractor, you hear your back crack. Like, it sounded like that. And I was like, oh, maybe I just cracked my back. Obviously, it was my back breaking. But, yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll ever go back to a chiropractor after that sound. But other than that, like, it's crashing a race car. I've done it before. I'll do it again. Didn't
that scare you? The cracking of the back scare you at the moment?
No, because I can still move everything, right? So my dumbass is like, oh, I'll hop out of this thing. You're fine. You just cracked your back. But yeah, that's life.
When did you know something was wrong?
I mean, I knew I hurt. Like, it hurt a lot. But I was like, I can move everything, so in my head I'm like if you can move everything, like, you're just like tweaked up or whatever, and it hurts, like, when you throw your back out or something. But when I got back to my trailer, I kind of I couldn't get my fire suit off, and I couldn't move much, and realized how much pain I was in. My plan was to get home and get checked out, but pretty quickly became get to a hospital in Iowa and get checked out there.
I know you didn't come here for us today, right? Did you come to support the team? Did you come because you're testing out how you feel? And, is it good to be back at the racetrack and with your team?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's good to be here. I've still been spending time with the team at the shop. And the night after their crash, everybody was at my shop. My 30th birthday was the day I broke my back, so I knew my back was going to hurt when I got old. I just didn't think it was going to be like that, but yeah, I mean, just trying to stay plugged in, right? Like, here to be supportive of the 48 team. If I wasn't here, I would be sitting on the couch, so quick little road trip, and glad to be here.
Do you feel like you've kind of thrown away your season?
I don't think so. I mean, we're still in the playoffs right now on points as we sit, so I think it's overcomable. You look at what Kyle Busch has done and what other guys have done post-injury. I mean, it sucks, right? It's not where I want to be, especially with the season we were having, but I know we can be as strong as we were before I got hurt when I come back.
And Jeff Andrews said that they would kind of evaluate their policies on what you can do outside the track. If they said you can't go sprint car racing, would you try to fight that?
Yeah, I mean, nobody's really said anything to me, so, I'm super appreciative to be here at Hit Motorsports. I'm going to do whatever they are comfortable with and supportive on. Obviously, I've really enjoyed sprint car racing in the last year, so PBR will continue to sprint car race regardless, right? Whether I'm owning it or driving it. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see and cross that bridge when we come to it.
Alex,
have you
there's
done
never.
any kind of therapy? Have you been able to do anything the last couple weeks that hasn't hurt?
Yeah, I've done a lot of things that hasn't hurt. Getting back in the gym last week was really good. Those bands are crazy. Like, I guess it cuts off all the circulation and kind of gives you a workout with really lightweight from that. So that to me is like, I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing for therapy. It's not technically physical therapy, but just kind of getting back moving. So yeah, it's been good. For the most part of the day, I'm not in that much pain. Honestly, laying down is probably the worst thing.
Alex, it's never good to make that type of phone call to Rick or whoever you call, but especially after what they had to go through with Chase. I mean, what was that phone call like for you to make, and who did you talk to?
Yeah, I talked to about everybody while I was laying in the hospital in Iowa. Yeah, I thought I was fixing to get yelled at, but I think the sympathy of the pain that I was in helped out. Everybody's been super supportive, so just appreciative of that because they had every opportunity to be pretty mad at me. So glad they weren't. Glad they've been nothing but supportive. And yeah, you never want to make that call and let your team down like that. But at that point, there was nothing I could do. Right? It's happened. It's gone. Just got to move forward from it.
How important is it to get time in a vehicle, especially in this era now where you don't get much track time in a cup car? And I know we talked last month just about your strategy with sprint cars and going to the bigger tracks and just kind of putting yourself in uncomfortable situations to kind of work on your craft. I mean, so how important is that, and how do you look at that after something like this?
Yeah, I mean, it's super important. For me, it was also a lot of fun and kind of a way to unplug and go do something fun, right? Like, I think it's pretty well-known fact how stressful the cup garage is, right? There's every mistake you make is highly publicized. You get to hear about it from everybody. Everybody expects perfection. And you can go race other stuff, and it's low pressure. It's kind of like it was growing up. So I enjoy that aspect of it, just to be able to go have fun. And I do feel like it helped me in the cup car. It slowed things down, and obviously, you know, hard to say if we're having such a good year because I was racing so much, but you know, we had the best average finish of anybody the time I got hurt. So I think we, like, without a penalty, would have been 1 point out of the lead at the time. So had a really good season going, and hopefully we can pick up where we left off.
Okay, guys, 2 more questions.
How do you handle the insurance for this? Do you have driver insurance that protects you from concussion, being out of the car, or the back being out of the car? How does that work for a driver such as you?
Yeah, they love me lately. So yeah, I mean, there's a disability insurance on it, right? So yeah, that's something I think most of us have, and you know, it's definitely important in a situation like that.
Okay. Last question.
Did you binge watch anything that you can recommend to people? What would you recommend to people with a broken back to watch?
Man, I binge watched pretty much everything. What was good? Night Agent on Netflix was pretty good. The problem was I was already a big binge watcher, so like everything I had already watched. Have you watched Beef? You gotta watch Beef. It's good.
Do you think he binge watches? He's always working.
I think this week your homework is to binge watch Beef. Let me know if Beef has any likes.
I'm going to be watching guys race late models
Yeah.
all week and making sure they're okay.
You got plenty of free time. All that time you spend on Twitter, just binge watch Beef.